Aberdeen in the UEFA Conference League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Hello to listeners on BBC Radio Scotland, Extra 810 medium wave and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. We are at a windy Pittodrie as Aberdeen open their Conference League campaign at home to one of the tournament favourites, the Ukrainians, Shakhtar Donetsk. The conditions are far from ideal, but will that work in Aberdeen's favour? They need something to go in their favour given everything that's been going on here in recent weeks. Not just domestically, they've already gone out of a European competition, although it still rankles, I'm sure, the red card sustained by Alexander Jensen in Bucharest as they were beaten by FCSB. The Croatian officials in the middle there with the two captains either side of them. Matvienko, the Ukrainian international, to the right of the halfway line. Nicky Devlin skippering Aberdeen this evening with Graham Shinney on the bench. The 40-year-old referees Duja Strukan from Split sent off a couple at the weekend as Osijek beat Goritska, and he also did Scotland's 3-0 win over Cyprus in Euro 24 qualifying, but he also produced a red card for one of the Cyprus players late on. His compatriot Fran Jovic is on VAR this evening for whatever use VAR is when you look at the decision at Celtic Park. And the goal that was ruled out there for handball against Kelechi Iheanacho, it didn't even hit his arm. And despite the referee having an on-field review of that, stuck with his original decision. Pretty remarkable decision as it was, as Celtic were beaten in the Europa League by Braga. I will keep you up to date with what's going on in Austria as Rangers take on Sturm Graz. But here in the main, it will be Aberdeen, and they are going to kick off, shooting towards the beach end in this first half. As we watch from the back of the main stand, we're on the opposite side of the stadium from where the TV cameras are housed above the south stand. And the Dons all in red with white flashes will go right to left. Shakhtar in their change colours. It's a cream shirt, white shorts, cream socks, left to right towards the red shed, Merkland Road, King Street end. And the first touch of the ball will be taken by Leighton Clarkson as he rolls it back to Dimi Mitov. That uncharacteristic error towards the end of the match at Fir Park that proved so costly on Saturday as his long ball forward is headed away. Paliversa heads it back towards the Shakhtar box, but it's lumped clear all the way back through. It comes to Mitov, who finds Knustar out to Keskinen on this near side. Will Willie Miller Aberdeen be free of the shackles of their domestic problems as they go up against Arda Turan's Shakhtar Donetsk this evening?
Well, I think the home crowd will be hoping that that's the case. Liam, you know, looking round, it's a very healthy attendance, isn't it? You know, so even although the Dons are not performing at a top level, then the fans are thoroughly behind them at this stage anyway, and hopefully behind the manager as well if he can turn it round. But it's a big ask to turn it round against this quality opposition. Jimmy Tolinas went with the three at the back, two wing backs, Keskinen in the left and Devlin in the right, you know, and Lazetic up top with Carlson supporting him. So listen, it's going to be an evening where the Dons are going to have to play to a higher level than they have managed to reach, much higher than they've managed to reach this season.
Shakhtar unbeaten across all competition this season so far, apart from the penalty shootout defeat to Panathinaikos in the Europa League that sent them into this tournament for the first time, as they pick up at the edge of their own penalty area here with Valery Bondar, the two Ukrainians anchoring the Donetsk defence. This comes back to their compatriot in goal, Rusnik, who's the third choice with the national team. It's fired out to this near side, a loose touch almost allowed Carlson in, but he's fouled his man. And that will be a free kick as Vinicius Tobias, one of 6 Brazilians in the Shakhtar side, is brought crashing to the ground by the Swede. And it is something that we've seen down the years with Shakhtar in their Champions League pomp in the late 2000s. Plenty Brazilians in the team, and here they come forward for the first time. It's a well-timed slide challenge there by Nicky Devlin to win it back up the line for Clarkson. The ball's in the air, it drops down there to the number 10 Pedrinho, scored a brace at the weekend in their 4-0 victories. They went to the summit of the Ukrainian Premier League for the first time in a year. Finished third last season. It was their lowest finish in the Ukrainian top flight since 1996. They were left trailing in the champions Dynamo Kiev's wake as it's pinged forward there by Matvienko, but it's going to go all the way behind for a goal kick for Aberdeen, which Mitov will take. Just a couple of minutes in, and 0-0 here as the two teams trying to feel their way into this, Willie.
Well, certainly Aberdeen are. They barely had a touch on the ball. It's been about chasing the Ukrainians. And the Ukrainians just zipping it about the field and keeping that possession. And Aberdeen, as yet, have got to put some passes together. The goals, neither goal's been threatened. Certainly from an Aberdeen point of view, they'll be pleased that has been a fact. But at some point, Aberdeen's got to get their foot on the ball, got to start taking part in this game rather than just being bystanders and trying to press the opposition.
I mentioned Arda Turan, who's the head coach of Shakhtar. He took over in the summer, former Turkey, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona midfielder. A real storied career that he had. As Lazetic runs down the right, he goes down and wins the free kick. Only an Aberdeen free kick level with the edge of the centre circle over on the far side, despite the protest of Mikola Matvienko, who's brought Lazetic to the ground. First start for Lazetic tonight, Willie, for Aberdeen, and be very keen to make up for that miss at Fir Park on Saturday. Yeah,
without doubt, it was a chance, it was a match-winning opportunity for him. And he just dwelled on it, didn't he? He took too many touches, but even after, not pulling the trigger early, he still had an opportunity to do something with it.
Free kick into the box, it just bounces off the shoulder of Lazetic and behind for a goal kick, so it all comes to nothing. And Clarkson's delivery over on the far side, I think Milne might have been quite close to getting onto that as well. There's a good crowd of Ukrainians over on the far side, obviously, and for obvious reasons. There are many Ukrainians residing in this country just now. But football continues in their home country, and that's the thing for these Shakhtar players. The things that they have to deal with domestically, as all the sides do there. The matches are quite often held up for air raid alerts, and indeed there was a hotel the Shakhtar team was staying in last season was hit by a missile overnight, so constant reminders for them. But here come Aberdeen with Keskinen, and he's won the first corner of the evening there off Vinicius Tobias, so it's an opportunity for Aberdeen here, and this might be their best hope tonight. 5 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, and and the patient play that Aberdeen have shown, and the press that they put in when they get an opportunity to go and press the ball, where the Ukrainians are very, very slack, very slow on the ball, really slow build up from them at times, and Aberdeen taking advantage of that, certainly winning this corner.
Chance then, and it will be whipped in from right in front of the Bitodri tunnel by Carlson towards the near post, where it's headed behind for another corner. They are shouting for handball in the Richard Donald stand. There's one or two Aberdeen players making that point to the Croatian referee as well, as that came into the near post. It wasn't a great delivery, and that's been a huge issue for Aberdeen this season.
No, it wasn't. It was drilled in at that near post. It's an handball.
I think this is a penalty.
It's a penalty.
Yeah, this is going to be a penalty to Aberdeen here.
It's a penalty, there's no doubt about that.
The ref's coming over to have a look at the monitor, but there's no doubt at all that this is an Aberdeen spot kick.
It's an elbow, and it's an elbow play towards the ball. Absolutely, he knows exactly what he's doing. It's an awkward one at the near post, and it comes off, and there's absolutely no way that the referee cannot give a penalty.
There you go, it's confirmed. The referee points to the spot, and now Kawau Elias, who's the striker back defending, who touched it with the arm, has given away the penalty. I can't believe he's not being booked for that.
It was heading goal bound as well. The goalkeeper was going to be struggling. It was a poor delivery, but it turned out, exactly very dangerously. And the goalkeeper was at the back post too, so he'll be struggling. Yeah.
Well, Rangers have just gone behind early on in Austria against Sturm Graz. Jesper Karlsson, beach end at Pittodrie. As the breeze whips through the stadium, a chance to end this long drought without a goal for Aberdeen, which goes back to the First leg of the Europa League playoff against FCSB. And Carlson, the man who cost Bologna £10 million just a couple of years ago, has the chance to score his first Aberdeen goal. Right-footed penalties in! Bottom left corner! And the roar goes up at Pittodrie as Jesper Carlson breaks the deadlock and gets Aberdeen's first Conference League goal of the campaign. 8 minutes in, they lead the mighty Shakhtar Donetsk thanks to a precision penalty from the Sweden international. It is Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 0.
Oh, he couldn't ask for a better strike as well. Riznik goes the right way. He's almost getting a hand on it, but it's the accuracy. It hits the side net, and it's a power as well, low into that left-hand corner. And the goalkeeper, although guessing the right way and getting ever so close to it, doesn't make contact. And Carlson lifts Pittodrie. It's a sight that we haven't seen for such a long time, but these Aberdeen fans enjoyed that one. Definitely a penalty, and it was taken extremely well.
Well, it was a penalty, but Aberdeen don't care. Their fans don't care. They've gone so long without a goal. Still the wait goes on for a goal in the Premiership, of course, but they went 548 minutes plus stoppage time without scoring since Esther Sockler's header against FCSB here in the first leg against the Romanians, and they've given it away. Shakhtar at back. Clarkson goes for goal. He's shanked it well wide, and the goalkeeper slipped as well. If that's on target, it's 2-0.
I would expect him to take that. I would expect Lane Clarkson to finish that one. I think he just snatched at it. You know, he could have actually steadied himself a little bit, showed more composure. Resnick going to the ground, slipping to the ground as well. And if he'd have taken that early touch and actually saw the goalkeeper slipping, then I'm sure with the quality that he's got, it would have ended up in the back of the net.
So just a reminder that Rangers trail Sturm Graz in Austria, but Aberdeen lead Shakhtar here as Knuster clears up towards Lazetic, presses it back to Palaversa, looking to get Keskinen in behind. Important header there by Valery Bondar, wins possession back as it slipped through to Nazarinya, and then back to Matvienko midway inside his own half. He could feel the relief, will he? Go up into the skies above Pittodrie here when that ball hit the net.
Yeah, without doubt, Liam. I mean, the start of the season has been pretty testing for the fans, the players, everybody involved, and with the fact that it's been goalless in the league as well, just to break that duck, just to see the ball hitting the back of the net, and a really well taken penalty, I must say too. Yes, it was a penalty, but you've still got to deliver, and Carlson certainly delivered on that occasion. Can't
score against Falkirk, can't score against Livingston, can't score against Motherwell twice, can score against a team that beat Barcelona just 2 seasons ago. This is a Champions League side. One of them tried to lob Dimitar Mitov from inside his own half. There was Matvienko, the captain. He launched it forward. He spotted the Bulgarian off his line, and it goes harmlessly wide for the goal kick. So something for Turan and his team to think about here. Knuster is over the goal kick, rolls it short to Mitov, who will launch it forward with the left foot. Any kind of positive result, and a draw would be a positive result for Aberdeen tonight before a ball was kicked. Of course, they've got a lead now, but anything to cling on to get their season going, they'll take it. 11 and they lead 1-0 here.
No, it's games like tonight, it's opportunities like tonight when you're getting yourself tested against top quality opposition. If you can go out and prove that you can overcome that challenge, then it turns your season round. It gives everybody hope and confidence, doesn't it? The fans get the hope, the players get the confidence. Long way to go, of course, only about 12 minutes into this game. Very windy as the team sheets are flying all over the place here.
Shakhtar on the ball on this near side. They have it with Lucas Ferreira. And back in field to Bondar. He's in the centre circle across the halfway line, rolls it low out to that left hand side for the left back Ferreira, and back he comes to Bondar, rolls it straight at Jesper Carlson, but it bobbles off him, and back into Shakhtar possession with Ocheretko, and out to that left hand side they have it with Pedrinho, and they've got plenty round about the edge of the box as well, as it's slipped back out to Ferreira wide on the left, looking for space to cross into the Aberdeen box here. He's going to get it back, looking to win the corner, which he does. First for the visitors in the match, 12 and a half in, and already going over to take it is Ihor Nazarinya.
Yeah, the home sides are just falling back and making that 3 or 5 very early, going back, but staying compact as well. So being able to put Shakhtar under pressure whenever they're trying to slip the ball about.
In swinger with the right foot, comes in, it's a brilliant delivery, and somehow Bondar's put it wide. It is a sitter to square the match, and Valerie Bondar knows it. It stays. Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 0, but it really should be 1-1.
Oh my goodness, Liam, how does he miss that? You know what, he goes with it, Bondar goes with it with the outside of his right foot. Surely you open up and you go with the instep or a side foot into the back of the net. You're talking, 5 yards out, the corner comes in, he's unmarked, and somehow he managed to slip it by the far post. It's quite an incredible miss.
Look at the defending,
totally
Willie.
On his own.
The defending is atrocious.
Frightening.
I mean, very similar to the goal that Esselink scored for Dundee United last Tuesday from the corner. Just all alone. Obviously haven't learned their lessons from that match at Tannadice 9 nights ago. It is Shakhtar in possession here with Nazarinya. This is a team that does not need any encouragement. You don't need to gift wrap things for them. As it's picked up left of the centre circle there by Ferreira and rolled in field to Matvienko, and now it's with the sinner Bondar, who missed that glorious opportunity a matter of seconds ago to square this match.
The thing is, Liam, he's a centre back. He's 6 foot plus. He's a huge threat in the box. You've surely got to have somebody marking him. Surely. Okay, it falls to his feet and he puts it by the post with a strike with his boot. But at the same time, there's no one near him. No one getting close to him. Surely, to goodness, you've got to make sure that that's not the case in the future.
Over on the far side, here comes Shakhtar again, about level with the edge of the D. It's Ferreira. Devlin comes to meet him. Still he has it, and now it's Pedro Enrique back out to that left-hand touchline again for Ferreira. And rolled in field, back to Matvienko. Slips it to Bondar. Everyone bar the Shakhtar goalkeepers in the Aberdeen half. It's a long ball forward which goes behind for the goal kick. Pedrinho hit the deck, no free kick. And it stays Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 0. And a reminder, it is Sturm Graz 1, Rangers 0 in Austria. It's not just Aberdeen need a pick-up. In Europe, Scottish football needs a pick-up because the coefficient's in the mud right now. And we just don't know when certainly teams of Aberdeen's standing in the Scottish game these days are going to get an opportunity to play league phase tournament proper matches in future seasons, because you're going back to the first qualifying round. We know how that ends up for most sides. That goes out for an Aberdeen throw-in.
Yeah, it's not a great situation to be in, is it? You know, Celtic at home as well, going down 2-0. Rangers struggling and have been struggling all season under new management too, but I think the last few years been pretty dire for Scottish football in Europe. And you're right, Liam, you hardly get a break during the summer. You're just right into European football almost as soon as the final whistle was gone in the league campaign, or if you're fortunate enough to be in the FA Cup final. So dire stuff, I'm afraid.
Devlin with the throw in, he's up the pitch here, rolls it to the angle of the box there for Lazetic. The Shakhtar penalty area, back to Palaversa, then to Knuster, out to the left it comes to Keskinen, who goes back to Mats Knuster, who's kind of dillying on it. He's in trouble under pressure. He's had to poke it all the way back to Milne, who's level with his own 6-yard line, squares it to Mitov, takes a touch in his own box and clears out to this near side looking for Keskinen, who can't control, and out it goes for a Shakhtar throw-in. Just one or two touches too many from Knuster there.
Yeah, I mean, he is a quality player though, Knuster. I really enjoy watching him. Educated left foot, and he does take chances, but at times I think you've got to do that. He recovered reasonably well. His use of the ball is usually very accurate. The way the Aberdeen are playing just now, you can see it's 5 right across the back, isn't it? With Keskinen has to be the wing back, but a very defensive wing back. Listen, it could be hope for Scottish football. I didn't think I would be saying that tonight, that Aberdeen might bring hope in Europe to Scottish football.
Long old way to go on this journey tonight for the Aberdeen supporters, but their team leading by a goal to nil. It's Matvienko, midway inside the Aberdeen half. Left foot cross comes in, bounces across the face of the penalty area. Keskinen trying to get onto it on this near side, shrugs off his man and drives up the left hand touchline, flicks it with the outside of the boot, looking for Carlson. It's not going to get there. It's Bondar who gets it back to his goalkeeper as Aberdeen try to play their way forward there. In fact, there is actually an argument to say that Aberdeen aren't taking enough risks in football matches just now, almost playing within themselves, playing this simple ball, the easy pass that is perhaps not even getting them up the pitch and into positions where they can attack teams.
I think it's when they get in that final third as well, Liam. You know, the quality, as I've watched all season, has not been there. You know, they get forward, okay, like Keskinen will get you forward. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Most of the players that they've brought in as well, Carlson too, he'll carry that ball forward. But once you get there, just the composure and the quality of delivery into the box is not there, and hence you're not really creating opportunities.
Throw in Aberdeen, taken by Kanuster, forward towards Lazetic, heads it in field, but it's picked up by the visitors over on this near side with Lucas Ferreira. He switches it out to the left hand side. Going to try and get Pedro Henrique involved. It's played back into the centre circle for Bondar and out to this near side for Vinicius Tobias. And in the centre circle it's Nazarinha who picks up. Lazetic for company, rolls it to Matvienko. Up to the midway point of the Aberdeen half. Ball forwards dreadful, straight to Clarkson. Knocks it through to Stuart Armstrong. First real feel of the ball for Armstrong. Slips it out wide right for Nicky Devlin. Devlin driving forward, and his heels click there, and the yellow card is going to come out here for Pedro Henrique over on the far side. And it will be an Aberdeen free kick on the touchline in front of the South Stand. 19 minutes played. Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 1.
Yeah, I mean, we're a fair bit away from it, but yeah, I mean, there was contact. There's no doubt about that. Nicky Devlin using his experience. I thought as well to go down because he didn't have too much support, but there's no doubt that it was a free kick. The referee showing a yellow card, correct decision as well. And Aberdeen getting an opportunity to throw one into the box and test that Shakhtar defence once more.
Third in the league, Shakhtar last season. I mentioned they won the cup like Aberdeen. They won it on penalties. They beat Dynamo Kiev. Armstrong is among those who are waiting at the edge of the box for this Carlson free kick, right footed, and it comes to the penalty area. It's a decent delivery. Kanuster meets it up into the air. It goes right about the penalty spot. Devlin couldn't get anything onto it. Shakhtar trying to play their way out, and they're going to get a free kick here at the edge of their box. The sound of the whistle from the Croatian referee. But it wasn't the worst delivery in the world from Jesper Karlsson there in these conditions as well. He's whipped that right in on top of the penalty spot area towards the 6 yard line.
Nah, it's fabulous. You know, so difficult to defend that type of curling cross from the right hand side. You know, whipped in this wind as well, in between defenders and goalkeeper. Goalkeeper not keen to come out, and defenders not sure to touch it or not. So no, a really good delivery. So, you know, Aberdeen showing positive signs, that's for sure. And they're looking very, very solid at the back. They've got, you know, plenty of bodies back there, right enough, but they're looking solid so far.
Marlon Gomez switching it out to that left hand side. Henrique won back by Clarkson, and then he, rather than passing it to Devlin, tries to spin his man, but he loses it to Leighton Clarkson, and it's Shakhtar back on the ball on this near side with Vinicius Tobias. The little ball through there to Ocheretko, and back it comes to Tobias. Big switch out to the left hand side, headed back in field to Matvienko, and then to Bondar inside the centre circle. He's got Matvienko to his left, and the skipper played all 3 matches against Scotland in 2022, including that World Cup playoff semi-final at Hampden. The Ukrainians won 3-1. That's dinked forward down this near side. Kanuster trying to hold off his man. He's trying to see if it had enough pace to take it out for the goal kick. It didn't, so he's had to spoon it out for a throw-in on this near side, a bit level with the Aberdeen 6 yard line, which will be taken by Vinicius Tobias as we approach the end of the first quarter of this one. Conference League, match day 1, Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. Bondar slips it square there to Matvienko as they work it back to the midway point of Aberdeen territory. It's flicked in field there for the number 19, Kawao Elias, who gave away the penalty. He sees Aberdeen in front. Knocked in field there to Nazarinya. And then Bondar out to this near side for Tobias. He's trying to get himself away from Carlson. He's in the central position now. Rolls it to his left for Matvienko. And out to that left-hand side again to Ferreira. He's seeing a lot of the ball just now. And in field it comes to Nazarinya. And then Bondar, walking pace. Low ball out to this near side for Lucas Ferreira. Played back to Matvienko. Looks up ahead of him, it's a chip ball, too much on it again. Comes all the way through to Dimitar Mitov, and it stays 1-0 to Aberdeen. Just looking at the passes, 144 Shakhtar passes to Aberdeen's 42.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's going to continue the way Aberdeen are setting up. But, you know, Shakhtar aren't opening the Aberdeen defence up at all. In fact, they're not really testing the Aberdeen defence. Although, I must say, the defence has turned into 10 men, isn't it? Because Lazetic is only about 30 yards from his own goal most of the time since that first goal went in. And it's got to be better.
Has it here, Lazetic? He's in the box, he's gone for goal, and the goalkeeper holds on at the second time of asking. Good little spin and turn that by Marko Lazetic, and he's tested the keeper.
Without doubt, because, you know, it didn't look as though there were going to be much on. It's just a throw-in, and he's managed to, you know, take on 2 or 3 players and create a little bit of opportunity, a little bit of space for himself, striking it with his left foot. The goalkeeper not looking too confident in taking it as well, so not too far away from finding the back of the net. So another opportunity, even though all these passes are going to the Ukrainians. You know, Aberdeen are showing more of a threat in front of goal.
Now listen, Aberdeen had 18% possession in the Scottish Cup final. It didn't matter at the end of the day. Here's Pedrinho rolling it out to the left-hand side. Ferreira. And back to Pedrinho. Jinks onto his right, then back onto his left. Rolls it out to the left. Ferreira. Got 4 in Shakhtar colours in the box. It's played back the way to Gomez. To Ferreira again. Level with the Aberdeen 18-yard line. Back to Pedrinho. Faced by Stuart Armstrong, who's got plenty Champions League and Europa League experience from his time at Celtic, as Aberdeen won it back. Loose ball by Shakhtar, albeit Lazetic has put it back to his own goal, and then Palaversa gets a bit fortunate there as he knocks it off Kawao and behind for the corner, or the goal kick rather. Could have been a corner, could have been a goal, could have been worse.
Yeah, it's just the header. He hasn't managed to time the header. He's not managed to get enough power on the header back to Mitov, and you know, you've got a midfielder coming in on top of the central defender, and he's a little bit fortunate that didn't fall to you know, a Shakhtar jersey there. Jack Milne was there right enough to give him a little bit of cover, but you can get misunderstanding in these situations as well. Fortunately, Aberdeen get away with it.
Made minimal changes to their squad in the summer, did Shakhtar. He sold Kevin for 40 million euros to Fulham. Brought 3 teenagers in from Brazil. And one of the other teenagers from Brazil in the squad, Alisson, is out injured with a broken leg. Probably their next most sellable asset. And one of their finest players is Artem Bondarenko, Ukraine international. He's on the bench tonight. It's rolled out to Tobias on the near side, but level with the edge of the D of the Aberdeen box. It's the Shakhtar number 17. Rolling it back to the edge of the centre circle for Matvienko. And out to Ferreira on that left-hand side. Played back to Matvienko and in field to Bondar. And missed that huge opportunity to equalise just 5 minutes after Shakhtar went behind. On this near side, it's with Lucas Ferreira. Out to the touchline. It's a big switch attempt there by Tobias. He's done well and he's managed to find Ferreira on the left. Now at the left angle of the Aberdeen box. Rolls it back to Matvienko. Squares it to Bondar. Aberdeen pinned back, trying to stay in their respective positions here. 27 played. Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 0. Aberdeen pushing them back the way here though, and eventually they've got all the way back to the keeper, Riesnik. Comes to the edge of his box to get onto the back pass there from Vinicius Tobias. Defended well by Aberdeen.
Yeah, in numbers, that's for sure. It's working well. So obviously they've been working on that in training. They don't want to, leave themselves open, and they haven't so far.
Jack Milne clears. And we picked up over on that left-hand side by Pedro Enrique, though. Level with the penalty spot now. Low ball across is going to be cleared by Nicky Devlin. Matvienko will pick up the scraps over in front of the south stand on the far side.
Liam, it's a long night though, isn't it? If this is going to be how the game's going to be played, with Aberdeen really defending 30-40 yards out, and looks offside, that one. I think the flag will go up.
Corner's been given, so no offside.
There you go. But the longer the game goes on, maybe in the mental side you get a little bit tired and you switch off, and then you give the opposition opportunities. I think I would just like to see more of a threat going forward. One of the two strikers, Lazetic in particular, I think could easily stay on the halfway line. It would keep at least one or two of their players back, but that's not been the case.
Nazarinya will take the corner. 4 caps for Ukraine. Outswinger with the right foot, main stand side as they attack the goal to the right. In it comes, it's flicked over the crossbar, well over in the end for Marlon Gomez, who met it at the 6-yard line. And sails harmlessly over and stays Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0.
Yeah, it's just a scrum, isn't it, in the penalty spot there. Players grappling with each other as the corner comes in. Big part of the game now, isn't it? Referees usually have a word with the players, and I think he did on that occasion, but I don't think it stopped him actually. Just confronting the opposition, trying to get a hold of them, and blocking their run. It worked on that occasion.
Jesper Karlsson's penalty separates the two teams right now. It's been all Shakhtar as far as possession is concerned. Haven't been able to do anything with it as yet. Still Rangers trail in Austria against Sturm Graz. Coverage of that on FM. Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Here on digital and on extra and 810 medium wave, it is Pittodrie and it's Aberdeen leading the mighty Shakhtar Donetsk by a goal to 0. Trying to win it back in the midfield here. It's a good spin though by Nazarinya. And then out to the left, Matvienko turns it out there to Pedro Enrique, taking on Devlin, level with the 6-yard line. Enrique then runs it out of play for an Aberdeen throw-in on the far side. They will absolutely settle for that.
Yeah, I think the more you can frustrate the visitors, the longer you can make them feel that they're not making any headway. Absolutely, you take that. The Aberdeen fans have been pretty patient. They haven't seen much in the opposition half, but enough to give them hope, I would suggest. And obviously the goal gives them a great deal of hope.
Certainly does. It's given them something to cling on to. But here comes Shakhtar driving forward. Karlsson gets between the man and the ball, facing his own byline, does well, turns it up the line for Keskinen. Bondar was strong against them though and wins it back for Shakhtar. Played in field for Nazarinya. Then out to Pedro Enrique over on that left hand side. Back to Matvienko. He's on the ball here. He slips it to Bondar. Arda Turan down there, the Shakhtar coach, wants more from his players. Aberdeen have frustrated them so far, though they should be level. That Bondar opportunity from the corner as it's clipped through, but it comes all the way back to Dimitar Mitov. It's another poor ball forward from Shakhtar, who I wouldn't say they're out of ideas at this early stage of the game, but they seem to be struggling to work out a way of breaching an Aberdeen defence. It's been incapable of keeping clean sheets by and large, as Keskinen is barged to the ground. Shakhtar Willie enjoying 80% possession, but no luck in front of goal yet.
No, but not doing anything with it really, Liam. I think Aberdeen have been pretty comfortable defensively. I don't look at them and see too many gaps there. It's a real solid unit, and Shakhtar are struggling. They're struggling badly to open Aberdeen up, and they end up playing these speculative little chips or long crossfield passes over the top of Aberdeen, and nothing has came of them so far.
Aberdeen win it back at the edge of the Shakhtar box. Lazetic squares it to Clarkson, not sure he was the intended target. Clarkson dumps it straight out of the pitch. Well, they're in a fabulous position in the attacking third there. And I can only imagine Leighton Clarkson's head was swimming, because I'm pretty sure Lazetic wasn't passing to him in the first place.
No, it wasn't. There's too much pace on the ball. I'm not sure. Maybe Devlin that was wider, or Armstrong. Not too sure. But he was trying to pick one of these players out, and it fell to Clarkson, who took a heavy touch. But then, you expect more from Leighton Clarkson when he eventually gets the ball under control. It's a good opportunity. I thought Lazetic did well, and it was an opportunity wasted.
Shakhtar with Matvienko out to Enrique over on the left hand side, midway inside his own half, rolls it back to Matvienko, and infield it comes to Nazarinya, to Bondar, and then to Matvienko to his left. All this taking place in the Aberdeen half. Out to Enrique, he's got a little bit of space here on the left hand touchline, taking on Clarkson, level with the penalty spot, turns back towards his own goal. And then to Pedrinho, who finds Matvienko, who rolls it low to the edge of the box, and an overhit pass comes all the way through to Mitov, with Kawao Elias trying to get on the end of that. Rolled out by Mitov to Kanuster on the near side. Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 0 on 33. Chip ball forward, given away though, and out with Vinicius Tobias on this near side. He's facing his own goal with Keskinen all over him. He managed to find a teammate in the end, and it was Nazarinya. And out to that left hand side with Ferreira. And Pedrinho left of the centre circle, back to Bondar inside his own half. Moves across the halfway line. He's faced by Marko Lazetic as he rolls it back to Matvienko. Then Bondar. Aberdeen pressing the game well at times this evening, but they've given it away here, and Shakhtar are driving towards the edge of the box. Elias turns it back to Nazarinya as a shot at goal, scuffs it rather. Armstrong's on it and clears it out for a Shakhtar throw-in on the far side.
That looked like their most promising move, didn't it? Aberdeen being opened up. Nazarinya eventually having the strike at goal. It was well blocked, so Aberdeen getting bodies back to make sure nothing came of it, but a good opportunity.
Lucas Ferreira on the right, level with the edge of the D, the Aberdeen box, rolls it back to Nazarinya, turns it out to the left there for Pedro Enrique. He gets it back again, rolled in field to Matvienko. Aberdeen with everyone behind the ball here as we head towards the final 10 minutes of the first half at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 1-0 up. It's Vinicius Tobias with a big switch from right to left of the penalty area for Enrique. Up against Clarkson, fires it across, beaten away at his near post by Mitov. Bondar controls just outside the centre circle. Rolls it to his left. It's Nazarinya out to Enrique, wide on the left hand side. Rolls it low in field to Kawao Elias. Now with Pedrinho out to Enrique. Shakhtar come forward with menace again. This time on the left hand side. Back to Pedrinho, and controls, crosses. Armstrong, or rather Carlson, gets a flick onto it. Now it's picked up on this near side by Vinicius Tobias. Carlson gets between the man and the ball. It's half away by Kanuster. Lazetic turns it out to Keskinen on this near side. And Keskinen looks to boot it clear, but it's coming right back at them right now, and still just under 10 minutes of the first half to go, Willie. It's a bit of a slog for the Aberdeen defence, so they are holding firm.
Yeah. I mean, the whole team is defending, Liam. It's a tactics that's been employed tonight by Jimmy Tillene. It's not like him, I must admit, but it's working so far. And Shakhtar are struggling. They're struggling to open Aberdeen up. But as I said, as the game goes on, it becomes more and more difficult. You begin to get mentally a little bit fatigued when you're just running about and you're not getting a touch of the ball. So, so far so good, I would suggest.
They've beaten Barcelona and Real Madrid in recent years, and they're coming forward here again, and it's a hit and hope on the turn by Elias. It's going to go out to play off the man who blocked it, Dorrington, and out for a throw into Shakhtar on this near side. Level with the edge of the D of the Aberdeen box. Turned back by Lucas Ferreira to Bondar, who squares it to Matvienko. Then out to the left for Pedro Enrique. Rangers are 2-0 down in Austria, incidentally, against Sturm Graz. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 0 in the Europa League. Here in the Conference League, it's a whole lot better because Aberdeen lead Shakhtar Donetsk 1-0. They're under the cosh here. Matvienko picks up, rolls it to Pedro Enrique again on that left-hand side. He must have seen the ball more than anyone else on the pitch, the Shakhtar left back in this first half.
But again, not done enough lot with it, Liam. You know, I think Nicky Devlin's handled him really well.
There's a chance at the edge of the box though. Nazarinha turns it to the right hand side of it for Lucas Ferreira. He's forced to turn away from goal. Good pressure by Palaversa as Bondar picks up and rolls it out to this near side for Vinicius Tobias. He's taking a touch off the Aberdeen defender and behind for the corner on this near side for Shakhtar. They continue their assault on the Aberdeen penalty area. Came bouncing off Canuster last.
And that's what it is, isn't it? It's an assault. I mean, it's constant pressure on the Dons' defence. They've stood up well so far, but they've got to be organised at set pieces.
In comes the corner. It's towards the back post and it's clawed away by Mitov. Did well. It wasn't the worst ball in by Nazarinha. It's coming back in from the left. Comes off the head of Armstrong, and there's the equaliser and off the post. One apiece. Nazarinha fires it home, comes to celebrate with his manager. Turan on this near side. Aberdeen's lead wiped out with one swoop of the right boot by Nazarinha. This time they couldn't get it away, and it's Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 1.
It's poor organising again. Organisation is just not there. You know, the ball comes right across the goal towards the back post after being under pressure, after having to deal with the corner from the other side. Nazarinha is on his own. It's not an easy strike for him. He takes it with his right foot, so that naturally would be taking it away from the goal, but he picks the spot perfectly just inside the far post. Mitov, no chance whatsoever, but just a huge blow. Just you know, just the organisation. You can't leave anybody from a set piece that clear, you know, with this quality. If you think he's going to miss it, then the likelihood is he's going to find the back of the net, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. Aberdeen have defended pretty well in the game, but they've still coughed up two great opportunities, and Shakhtar have just taken the second of them. And they're just not a team that keeps many clean sheets, and when you're not scoring many up the other end, that can lead to trouble. And it's back on terms at Pittodrie as we get ever closer to half-time. Big blow for Aberdeen, that one. Having got the lead, they managed to hold on to it for about half an hour. And that has gone now as Dorrington picks up and rolls it low, looking for Devlin up the right-hand side. Infield for Clarkson to Palaversa. Whips it out wide left there, right to left to Keskinen. Keskinen can now attack the box here. He's at the left angle of it. It's taking an eternity to decide what he's going to do. Eventually he finds Carlson, who crosses, headed away by Bondar. Canuster tries to get there and finds Jack Milne, who was back to his goalkeeper. You can hear the groans from the Aberdeen supporters as Milne went back the way rather than forward, and Dorrington's under pressure over there, and he has won the throw-in there off Marlon Gomez. And we are throw-in to Aberdeen south stand side. Blow for Yumi Telin, Willie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blow because, you know, there really hasn't been too many opportunities, and the opportunities have really came, you know, through poor marking, set pieces, which really is something that you should have, you know, tied up. You should be organised, you should be disciplined, and they certainly weren't that when Bondar had his opportunity and should have equalised. And then Nazarinha getting free at the back post too. So I think that'll be the frustrating thing for Jimmy Telin, is that you know, in normal play, in outfield play, it's been okay, but and they've defended well, but certainly in terms of set pieces, it's not been up to scratch.
So 1-1 here at Pittodrie. 2-0 Sturm Graz against Rangers in Austria. Earlier Celtic beaten 2-0 at home by Sporting Braga. Those two matches involving the Glasgow clubs in the Europa League. This is the Conference League. Shakhtar Donetsk in this tournament for the first time. Aberdeen for the second, having taken part in the final group stage. Season of European football 2 years ago as Milne wins the throw-in on this near side, which Keskinen will take. But in the final 3.5 minutes of the opening 45 here, Keskinen over the throw-in. He's in a great position, Keskinen, in the final third there, Willie. It just, like so often is the case with Keskinen, he didn't seem to know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's the vision, it's the composure, it's the quality, I think, that he lacks. I think he's a player that will get you from defence into the opposition half. You know, he's a strong runner, but it's once he gets there, he really needs to improve that part of his game. He's still young enough to improve, and he's got to be coached, I think, just properly to show composure, show patience as well, and just improve in that delivery.
That's a lovely ball by Pedrinho out to that left-hand side. An opportunity for Pedro Henrique down the left flank. Gets some support, gets it back towards the underlap, but Devlin shepherds it behind for the goal kick. It's well defended by the Don skipper for the night, Nicky Devlin, who's lost his place in the team since Alexander Jensen signed. He's been in and out since then. He obviously started the Scottish Cup final at left wing back, but he's somebody who took part in the Conference League games a couple of years ago and still seems to have plenty to offer this Aberdeen team, and there are many who feel he should be in there ahead of Jensen, who's flattered to deceive at times.
He's done well tonight, you know, because down that the right hand side where he's had to defend, Enrique in particular has looked very lively, and he's handled everything that's been thrown at him.
Here goes Armstrong dancing down the right. Aberdeen doing some attacking here. Armstrong level with the Shakhtar penalty spot. Back to Palaversa. The shout was man on, but Palaversa didn't hear it in time and has his pocket picked there, and Shakhtar are able to clear. Long ball forward, which Mitov takes command of and rifles it forward first time. Left footed, high ball out to this left hand side. Keskinen unable to keep it in play, and it's out for a throw in to Shakhtar Donetsk. It is 1-1 here, and we are getting very close to the interval, Willie.
Yeah, and if Aberdeen go in, you know, with the same scoreline at the interval, then I think they can look back on a disciplined performance apart from the set pieces. I think in general play they've looked pretty compact and confident in dealing with everything that Shakhtar can throw at them. Certainly that's been the case when they've just went back into that back five and asked all their players to defend deep. Yeah, they've not had a lot of the ball, but you know, you've got to respect the opposition here, I think, and Jimmy Tillene's looking for a result, and he'll be disappointed that he's lost that goal, you know, from a set piece, and that will be frustrating them at half time. Other than that, then I think they've done particularly well.
The bottom line is this Shakhtar Donetsk team wins the league in this country. It's as good a team as Aberdeen have played in years. If they're at the top of their game and with all their best players available, this is a top class outfit who were in the Champions League last season, and disappointingly for them finished in the bottom 8 and missed out in progression. More than capable of dining at the top table of European competition. They've had some famous results down the years. They think they should have a free kick over on the far side. Nicky Devlin making the point to Marlon Gomez that he dived there to try and win it, and having seen the replay, I can agree with the Aberdeen defender. 2 minutes have been added on at the end of the first half at Pittodrie. It is 1-1 here. Aberdeen scoring their first goal in 548 minutes. Jesper Karlsson's penalty early on. The first since that Esther Sockler header against FCSP. And it hasn't gone unnoticed from the Aberdeen fans, Willie, that Esther Sockler scored in each of his last 3 matches on loan at NK Rad in Serbia, including against Red Star at the weekend.
Yeah, that's a sore one, isn't it? You know, when you have a player like that really doesn't do it, and then you put him out on loan and he gets a new lease of life. But that's football for you, Liam. You've just got to make these decisions. You know, some of them work out fine for you, others don't, and it can be a little bit embarrassing at times.
It is half-time in Austria, so Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 0. The pressure mounts on Russell Martin. Rangers away to Falkirk at the weekend. Aberdeen here at home to Dundee. They simply have to win that game. Here's Bondar at the edge of his own box for Shakhtar, switching it to the left for Pedro Henrique. He's thinking about squaring it back in field to Matvienko. Eventually he does. So we trundle through stoppage time here, about 30 seconds left. Important for Aberdeen that they get in all square at the interval here, as Karlsson chases a pass back to the goalkeeper, which is cleared by Riesnik. The long ball will come all the way through to Mitov, and it's looking like 1-1's the half-time scoreline, Willie.
It is, yeah, and I think Jimmy Tillene will be happy enough with that. Obviously disappointed that they didn't hold on to that early lead that they got. But I think generally you can see what he's trying to achieve here. He's trying to frustrate the opposition. You know, it's been a solid defensive display by them at half time.
Yeah, well, it is one apiece. Jesper Karlsson's penalty on 8 minutes, giving Aberdeen the lead after the handball by the Shakhtar striker Kawau Elias. Jimmy Tillene dreaming of a famous victory, and Aberdeen dreaming of a famous European victory. But Arda Turan, Shakhtar back on level terms is Nazarinha's effort. Not long after he'd taken a corner, Aberdeen can't seem to defend set plays right now. Nazarinha smashed it towards goal, it bounced off the post into the net, and that means the half-time scoreline in the Granite City on match day 1 in the Conference League is Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 1.
Aberdeen in the UEFA Conference League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Studio James, same old from Rangers, just gifting opportunities.
Yeah, they are, and you know the goal, the first goal is, you know, Jack Butler makes a mistake, but it's from a Rangers throw-in, and how it gets from Tavernier trying to throw it into Chamiti, not strong enough, allows the defender to nick in front. By the time he nicks in front, the ball's in the Rangers box, square pass, chance to shoot, he lets it go, Horvat, and then he fires it straight at Jack Butland, who tries to make himself bigger. It's more of an instinctive attempt at a save rather than keeping out of the net, and it was 3 or 4 times in the first half Rangers had throw-ins and they were giving the ball away basically. So no, it's been a poor show. Chamiti had a chance, heads it off the bar. I actually think he does just about as much as he can in the circumstance, but just again for Rangers, slowing the ball. Any time they've looked to get the ball forward quick to Gassama, they've looked dangerous. But you know, Sturm Graz are doubling up on him. He's still managing to create opportunities, but it's just not good enough again for Rangers. Rangers look dangerous, a danger to themselves when they have the ball.
I mean, that says all, doesn't it? I mean, that says all. Welcome to listeners who have been tuned in to the Aberdeen game. It's a whole lot better for Aberdeen. They took the lead up there, an 8th minute penalty from Karlsson, equalised on 38 minutes by Nazarinha. So Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 1. That's in the Conference League tonight. Full second half commentary to come. Just a reminder what we've got for you later on between 10 and 11 o'clock. We will play all 3 managers out, their media conference with Jimmy Tillene, Russell Martin and Brendan Rodgers. We'll play a wee bit of Brendan Rodgers in a couple of minutes' time. Celtic losing 2-0 at home to Braga in the Europa League earlier on. Rangers 2-0 down away at Sturm Graz this evening. James McFadden just giving his analysis there of that first half performance from Russell Martin's team. Tom English alongside us here in the studio. Tom, and again, I go back to the media conference that you were at, where you asked Russell Martin to tell us what has improved during his time in charge, and he couldn't give you any answers to that. James has just given a fairly strong critique of what he's seen from Rangers. I just can't think of anything this guy can say right now, this Rangers manager can say right now, that offers any sort of hope to Rangers fans.
No, I don't. You're looking for a sliver of optimism here, just a semblance of something coming together, and I don't see anything. You know, Russell Martin was in his media yesterday. He says there are, and I'm quoting, the players are showing signs now that they're getting into some sort of flow and understanding what we want. I don't know what Russell Martin wants here. He also said my whole career was built on proving people wrong. Sadly, he's proving people right with every game at the moment. It seems to be just he's locked in this vicious circle. He can't get out of it. His team is losing all the time, or most of the time. There's these catastrophic mistakes that are being made. Not his fault, but he carries the can for them. And I think the whole club is drifting, you know, with the news about the new recruitment coming in and all the commentary about that. I just think that the club is mired in kind of gloom. doom and gloom.
It just seems a shambles right now, and we'll get reaction from fans later on. An Aberdeen fan will join us, a Rangers fan will join us, a Celtic fan will join us. I know that our colleagues out there in Austria spoke to some Rangers fans yesterday, and it's as I suspect, it's certainly what I've been hearing and reading on social media, that they're saying there is nothing that the manager can do. We keep saying he has to keep win games, but you get the feeling as soon as he gets one defeat, that's it again. I just don't think, Tom, I don't think he can win the Rangers fans back. I think it's gone.
Yeah, and I'd agree with you. I mean, they're 2-0 down at half-time. Same old. Nobody would be surprised at this. Like, nobody.
No.
It's 2-0. What would be surprising is if they came back now and they got a point out of this. That would be a big surprise. More likely they will lose another goal. It's not getting any better. Just because Russell Martin says he can see things getting better, it doesn't mean they're getting better. It just means he's desperate to see something. But it's an optical. Whatever he's seeing, it's an optical illusion.
Yeah,
it's not really there. It's a mirage.
It is getting better, but it's still not enough.
And it's slow.
The bar is very low.
But I don't see it getting better, though.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's too slow. You look at Antman's performance off the right, so reluctant to run in behind, either off the ball or when he gets it, he's cutting inside and playing safe. Gassama's the only one that's willing to, try something, try and create in the areas that matter.
Well, within the doom and gloom tonight, there is, believe it or not, some positivity. That positivity is up at Pittodrie. Aberdeen up against Shakhtar Donetsk. Let's get the half-time report from Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, going up against a team that has in recent years beaten both Barcelona and Real Madrid and has a storied history over the last couple of decades in the Champions League. Aberdeen holding the Ukrainians Shakhtar Donetsk. Jesper Karlsson giving them the lead inside 8 minutes and thus ending that long old wait for just a goal for them. They'd gone 548 minutes plus stoppages without a goal when Karlsson dispatched the penalty, which is awarded for a handball by the striker Kawau Elias. Wasn't even booked for it. It was a deliberate handball in the box, but there you go. The penalty was given after a VAR check and struck home beautifully by Karlsson into the bottom left. Aberdeen was a proper rearguard action after that. They've surrendered about 80% possession in the match, and all the other statistics pointing Shakhtar's way. As far as passes completed are concerned, Shakhtar 289, Aberdeen 61, which just gives you the full idea as to the dominance of the Ukrainians in the game. And they did level proceedings with Ukraine international Ihar Nazarinya smashing home came from a corner he'd taken. Actually, Aberdeen got it half away, but Nazarinya found himself in acres of space back into the box, smashed it in off the post, and they missed a glorious chance. Bondards about 5 or 6 minutes after they'd gone behind. The goal's gaping, he's got to score. Somehow he put it wide. Aberdeen, whilst they've defended well at times tonight, Willie, they've coughed up those two big chances. They've both come from corners. They just can't seem to defend set plays. You look at the Esselink goal for Dundee United last Tuesday's case in point.
They've got to be better organised defensively. It seems to be this ruck, and I don't know how you can defend properly when you're in a ruck and you don't know where your man is and you're grappling with him, and that seems to be what happened with the Bondar opportunity. I mean, how he misses it, I do not know. It falls to him perfectly. It's 5 yards out. Instead of going with it with the side foot strike into the back of the net, he tries to go with the outside of his boot and puts it past the far post. I mean, it's got to be a goal. It's actually got to be a goal. But Aberdeen have defended well, but it's been back to the wall. It's been 10 men defending from maybe 30-40 yards out, almost constantly. But you know what? I don't think Shakhtar has done enough to disrupt the Aberdeen, back five and the rest sitting in front of them. I think Nicky Devlin has been brilliant because most of Shakhtar's attacks have been down the left-hand side. He's playing right wing-back, and I think he's handled it extremely well. But generally, it's a disciplined, well-organised performance. It's not about going forward and creating opportunities. They got the breakthrough with the penalty, a definite penalty. I don't know why you have to go to the VAR. We can see it from up here that it's hit the forearm.
It's a deliberate handball, isn't
it? It's an awkward one for them to defend as well at the near post. So you're right. The referee should have at least shown a yellow card. But they've got that, and Carlson finished this really well. I mean, the goalkeeper Resnick goes to his right hand side, and if it's not as accurate and as powerful as what Carlson has struck the ball, then he's saving it. So a brilliant penalty kick from him. They've lost the goal, bad organisation. Nazarinya, finished it well because it was a tight angle and he's not got a big target at the far post, so it's a well taken goal. But Shakhtar has dominated. They've dominated possession. They've dominated the ball. From an Aberdeen point of view, it's just been about being organised defensively in particular, not offering too much as far as the attacking side of the game's concerned. But I feel that where Jimmy Talline is at this moment, where Aberdeen are at this moment, then you've got to accept that type of performance. I don't think that's his DNA. I think he prefers to go forward, but defensively it's been a good performance the first half.
Shakhtar 5th favourites to win this tournament, but Aberdeen holding them. I think all the predictors had them bottom of the Conference League, all the simulators. If they can get off to a positive start with even a draw tonight, it might lift some of the gloom away from Jimmy Talline. Half time on match day 1 in the Conference League, Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 1.
Yeah, well done to Aberdeen. Full second half commentary to come. We kicked off with the 5:45 start at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, Sporting Braga 2. Let's hear from the Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers, and first of all he addressed a highly contentious decision that saw a Celtic equaliser chopped off Iheanacho with a goal. It was adjudged to have been a handball. Here's Brendan Rodgers.
I can't understand why the referee isn't asked to go and have a look at it. I think if you're looking at that, even if you look at it once, twice, and I'm assuming the guys in the VAR will have watched it more than that because of the time it took. But there's absolutely no way from every angle you look at that he's touched it. So it's hit his face. He's gone away and finished it really, really well, and that's a big moment in the game for us.
You said you haven't been given an explanation, Brendan, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Have you sought one? Have you tried to speak to the ref?
Yeah, well, no, not as of yet, no. It was a big moment in the game. We'd started the half well, and in fairness to the players, they continued to push, get into some really good areas, but just a mixture of them making good blocks, us not making the finish, was left us frustrated.
Kasper Schmeichel's been such a big player for you since he's come to the club. Is he... I don't know, has he said anything in the change room? Looks like he probably should have done better with the opener.
Yeah, I haven't spoke to him. I think from looking at it, looks like the ball is moving. Of course, he probably will be disappointed with it, but yeah, it looks like it's a good strike by the player, and it's obviously moved a little bit.
Another game where fans are bemoaning a lack of creativity and despite Iheanacho's goal being chopped off, a lack of goals in the squad. Your message to them, and is that a concern that we know what hasn't happened in the transfer window? Is this the club's chickens coming home to roost in that regard?
Well, listen, whatever it is, I need to find the solution to it. Because like I said, there's been too many games now where we haven't scored from a team that was... last year we scored the most goals in the last 54 years of the club's history. So we're just in a spell now, and it's my responsibility. I need to somehow find the solutions to that.
More to come from Brendan Rodgers later. Just to say, in the studio we could not see the handball that was given against Iheanacho. In terms of that first goal, it was an absolute howler from Kasper Schmeichel. So we'll hear in full from Brendan Rodgers later, and of course we'll hear from Jimmy Talline and also from Russell Martin, and we'll be joined by fans between 10 and 11 o'clock. James McFadden and Tom English will join in with that debate. So a choice of listener once again for you with two more big second halves ahead, you'd have to say. Sturm Graz against Rangers in the Europa League. Stick with us on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds. If it's Aberdeen against Shakhtar in the Conference League you're looking for, tune to Radio Scotland Medium Wave and Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds, and you can find both games on the website at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Aberdeen in the UEFA Conference League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back from Pittodrie under the lights here on match day 1 in the Conference League. Both teams are back out on the pitch. No changes by the look of things for either of them at the start of the second half, as Aberdeen come up against Ukrainian opposition for the second time having famously dispatched Dnipro of Dnipropetrovsk back in 2007. Darren Mackey's header taking them through to the old UEFA Cup groups, where they had a couple of really memorable nights, particularly against Copenhagen here. Willie nodding his head, he was very much back at the club at the time. And then running the mighty Bayern Munich close here, 2-2 in the knockouts of that competition at the Copenhagen one. My goodness, what an atmosphere there was in here. That was the night of the Hooters, wasn't it? It was some noise.
Fabulous memory, fabulous.
Jamie Smith's double. An own goal, and Richard Foster with the other. Shakhtar get the second half underway, going right to left in the cream shirts, white shorts. Cream socks change kit towards the Richard Donald stand beach end. Aberdeen all in red with white flashes as it's rolled back to the goalkeeper Riesnik here. And he goes long with the right foot out to the far side, where it's met by the jumping Kanuster. He finds Keskinen down the line, couldn't find Carlson. And Shakhtar have it back with Matvienko, who rolls it out to Pedro Enrique on the near side. Then out onto the touchline there for Gomez, goes down, no free kick. Could have been. Armstrong rolls it infield to Palaversa, back to Dorrington on the halfway line, to Milne, forward to Armstrong, he goes back to Jack Milne, and then stabs it forward to Lazetic. He's lost out to Bondar though, and neither team able to hold on to it at the moment. It breaks back to Pedro Enrique, who finds Matvienko, who rolls it to the right hand side there for Vinicius Tobias. It's Aberdeen with Mitov in goal, that back three: Milne, Dorrington, Kanuster, with Devlin and Keskinen wide, Palaversa, Armstrong in the middle with Clarkson and Carlson and Lazetic. That is the Aberdeen side as they try and register a point on the opening night here. I mentioned there, all the simulators have them sitting bottom of the Conference League after the 6 matches are played, which is pretty remarkable, but they were adjudged to have had the unluckiest draw of all the teams in the competition. AK Athens and Strasbourg to come over the course of the next couple of months. Other perhaps more winnable games as well. The Armenian side Noah are due here at 1 point further down the line, but anyway, it's Shakhtar tonight. It's picked up in the midfield by the visitors here with Nazarinya, their goal scorer, out to that right hand side of the centre circle. Palaversa trying to win it back, loses out though, and it's picked up by Matvienko, who crosses the halfway line and rolls it out to Pedro Enrique on the near side. Low ball back in field to Matvienko, then into the centre circle for Bondar, then rolls it to his left for Vinicius Tobias. Short ball to Nazarinya, acres of space for Pedro Enrique if they can find them, and they've eventually got it to him. The left angle of the Aberdeen box, back to Nazarinya, towering central midfield player. Comes back to Matvienko on the edge of the centre circle, looking to work a 1-2, gets it back and turns it out to the left hand side here for Ocheretko, to the edge of the penalty area. Elias Carlson puts the challenge in, still Shakhtar emerge with the ball though. It's rolled out wide right, they've got a man down, it's Pedrinho, the edge of the box, seems to be in serious agony. Shakhtar playing on here, there's no sympathy from his teammates, back across it comes, it's blocked, and behind it goes for the Shakhtar Donetsk corner. It's Pedrinho picked up on the left, I'm not sure who it is that's down actually. Just towards the edge of the Aberdeen penalty area, but the referee's stopping it. It's Kawao Elias actually, the man who gave away the penalty.
Carlson got a yellow card for it as well. Maybe see it as he comes in.
He's trod on his ankle, hasn't he? So that's where that has come from. Jesper Carlson on loan from Bologna. Rangers have pulled one back through JD Gassama. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1. Carlson yellow carded here. It's one of those you just wonder if they'll go back and have a look with the VAR, but in comes the corner, fired across and right across the face of goal. And Pedrinho, if he gets any kind of meat on that header, he could easily have been making it 2-1 to the visitors there, as Aberdeen's shortcomings defending the corners almost came back to haunt them there. They managed to get it out for a throw into Shakhtar over on the far side, but that corner was absolutely fizzed across the Aberdeen goalmouth.
It was a big opportunity, wasn't it? And again, you didn't feel that Aberdeen were particularly well organised, to deal with the Shakhtar movement in the box, and you're watching players getting bit of freedom, not being able to get their head on the end of it, but very dangerous cross, and just, you know, a few inches away from meeting the forehead and ending up in the back of the net.
Shakhtar have it, rolled out to the right hand side, but it's picked up by Vinicius Tobias. He's going to get it back on the halfway line, and rolls it back to Bondar, who finds Matvienko. Chip ball forward here, and then the slip there from Marlon Gomez. It drops back to Donington, who goes back to Mitov. Fires it high up towards the halfway line, but it's pretty aimless, and Shakhtar get it back. It's prodded through here, and an opportunity for them with Lucas Ferreira to drive forward. Bounces off Armstrong and out for a throw into the visitors on this near side. Level with the edge of the centre circle. It's with Nazarinha. And back out to Pedro Enrique, level with the edge of the D of the Aberdeen box on the main stand side. Rolled back to Matvienko. It's going to come back to Pedro Enrique here, then infield to Pedrinho. Plays it through to Elias, gets it back to Matvienko. Now Pedrinho shifts it to Nazarinha. Right to Vinicius Tobias on the right. Such hard work for the Aberdeen defenders here as Clarkson slides in to try and win it back after a loose ball, but still Shakhtar emerged with the second ball, to the applause of their manager Ara Turan. And what a fine player he was. Long ball forward there by Shakhtar, headed away by Clarkson, and picked up here by Nazarinha. He just dominates, doesn't he? It's a chip ball from him, which is headed away by Milne. Pedrinho picks up ahead of Armstrong, spins away from the former Scotland international. Might there be more caps to come? We shall see. It's out with Pedro Enrique on the left, level the edge of the D of the Dons box. Moves in field, and now it's picked up there by Ocheretko. Back to Matvienko, slips it into the penalty area for Pedro Enrique. Little chip ball towards the back post, headed half away. Pedrinho, little back heel, as a shot at goal over the bar. Mitov wasn't diving for it, but it's over from Vinicius Tobias, and it will stay Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 1, 51 and a half minutes on the clock. And I don't think, Willie, I've really stopped talking since the first whistle of the second half, because Shakhtar have just kept the ball, popped it around, toying with Aberdeen at times.
Yeah, they've bossed possession, haven't they? I mean, they're a very talented team. I think probably their only weakness is when they get in and around the penalty box. As yet, you know, they haven't ripped the Aberdeen defence apart. There's plenty of numbers there, you've got to say, so it's not easy to do that, but I think at times they'll play it back and go wide when they might be better being more positive like this.
It's slipped in behind. Milne managed to get there, slides it behind for the corner with Kawau Elias in behind them, looking to feed off any error in judgment from Jack Milne. And once again Aberdeen having to face a Shakhtar corner, and they've not looked clever dealing with the other four that have come into their box.
No, they haven't, and you know, that's an example of if they lose their discipline, lose their shape and their numbers, how they can be ripped apart. That was very close to being a good opportunity for Shakhtar.
And it comes a low delivery this time, which Aberdeen clear on the 6-yard line. Trying to push out are the Dons players, as Pedrinho flicks it back with the outside of his boot to his goalkeeper in the luminous orange kit. Out to the left for Pedro Enrique. Steps away from both Carlson and Clarkson, and then as his heels clicked there by Lazetic, and that will be a free kick to Shakhtar just beyond the midway point of their own half, as the wind gets up at Pataudry again. Not ideal conditions, doesn't seem to be bothering the Ukrainians though. They're knocking it around with poise and purpose. And it's Pedro Enrique on the halfway line, back to Matvienko, who squares it to Bondar. Moves up towards the halfway line, steps into Don's territory, and rolls it to Vinicius Tobias on the right, back to Bondar. And Nazarinho pointing back towards his skipper Matvienko. That's where the pass goes. Matvienko gets it through. Chance here for Ocheretko. Out to the left hand side. The cross ball will commence. A brilliant delivery. It's headed in. It's too easy. It is way too easy from an Aberdeen point of view, and Shakhtar lead at Pataudry. The header down into the ground and into the net, and it's a nightmare for Aberdeen as Vinicius Tobias gets on the end of it. They've turned it round, 9 into the second half. Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 2. Dreadful, dreadful defending.
No, it is. It's I think it's Keskinen that just loses his man. Not too sure it is at the back post that actually gets the header, but it's just way too open. I think Keskinen has switched off. He's watching the ball. It's a great cross to the back post. Listen, he's away a little bit early as well. I don't think it's offside. It's not being checked. No, it definitely stands, and I think it is Keskinen that switches off, isn't it, at the back post. He's drifting in. He's lost his man, and it's quite a simple header.
Yeah, it's actually Lucas Ferreira who's got in at the back post. Tobias is in there too, but it's 2-1, and Aberdeen have to come from behind now. There's Devlin. It's fouled, surely he was, on this near side by Marlon Gomez. But it's just an awful goal. The 2 goals Aberdeen have conceded tonight have been awful.
Well, they have, both of them, and the big opportunity for Bondar as well. You know, in terms of being sharp defensively, listen, Keskinen's not noted for his defensive play. He was found out there. You know, he's watching the ball. You've got to be aware of what's round about you, what's over your shoulder, what's behind you, and he wasn't, and Ferreira was there just to nod it in. It was a simple header into the back of the net as well, so again, frustrating.
Clarkson free kick up the other end for Aberdeen's headed over his own crossbar there by Marlon Gomez. Will be an Aberdeen corner, and that wasn't too far away from in the back of his own net there. It's a great ball in by Clarkson.
He's capable, isn't he, Leighton Clarkson? You know, and it is. See these balls just in between goalkeeper and defenders. You know, that's an example of what can happen easily. That could have ended up in the top right hand corner in the back of the net.
Carlson will take the corner, in swinger with the right foot. It's a good one, headed wide by Palaversa. He's just kind of glanced it past the right hand post. Lazetic was there too, and it will stay Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 2 on 56.5.
I think he's got to score. I do
it's
think
actually Lazetic who's got the final touch on that one, Willie.
Yeah, and it's okay. He's coming back the park a little bit. He's under a little bit of pressure, but for me, I think if you get a powerful header in that back across, I think he can score. I just felt that he was too timid in approaching it.
Aberdeen, Armstrong at the edge of the box, shoots, blocked, breaks to Lazetic inside the area, and he rifles it wildly high and wide, and it stays 2-1 to the Ukrainians. Been a good reaction by Aberdeen to going behind though.
Yeah, it has been. You know, they've shown a good bit of spirit and you know, a good bit of play as well to get themselves into dangerous areas. They need more of that, I think. Yeah, you know, you just feel that whenever they've taken the lead, that it's got to be, I don't know what's going on there, but the flag is up for some infringement. Maybe Lazetic in the penalty box when he shouldn't have been. Anyway, you know, if they just show maybe a little bit more ambition, you know, albeit it's whenever the Shakhtar score that they've played probably their most effective football going forward. Well, birthday boy Sivert Hilton Nielsen's going to be on for Aberdeen in a moment as Armstrong spins away from his man. He's at the edge of the box. He was looking for support, and Clarkson, he couldn't find them. It's rifled clear by Pedro Henrique up towards the halfway line where Milne spins his man, slips it through. Carlson can't control though, and it's now going to be played back to the goalkeeper by Vinicius Tobias, and it's stabbed away by Matvienko to Nazarino, and out to the left comes Pedro Henrique driving across the halfway line. Clarkson trying to get back at him. It's now with Marlon Gomez. He almost put through his own net a moment ago. Pedrinho back into his own half for Matvienko. To the right of the centre circle, it's picked up by Ocheretko, and then over to the right hand side to their second goal scorer, Lucas Ferreira. The right angle of the box. Back it comes to Ocheretko. And to Ferreira, to Ocheretko again, in field to Pedrinho. Back to Ocheretko. Pedrinho stabs it to Ferreira, right hand side of the box up against Canuster. And rolls it back to Vinicius Tobias. Another Shakhtar goal, and you see no way back for Aberdeen. Cross comes into the back post area. It's headed down there by Bondar, and there is the third goal. Caught in the volley by Henrique. Left hand side of the box, he finds the bottom left corner. We're right behind that, and Aberdeen have absolutely no answer to the power of the Ukrainians.
It is Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 3, and what started off as being a positive looking night for the Dons is turning into another miserable evening for their fans.
It certainly is, isn't it? Ripped apart again, and again it's that long cross, very similar from the second goal. It's a long cross from the right hand side. This time it's Bondar with the header down. This time it's Nicky Devlin that's not aware of the player behind him, Bondar, who, it's a perfect header though, isn't it? And Enrique, he just gets his head over it, puts the laces through it, he picks his spot perfectly. Mitov, no chance whatsoever. It's low along the ground with plenty of power. You would say that's a game over.
2 goals in 5 minutes, and Aberdeen can probably now forget about picking up anything on match day 1 in the Conference League. In the blink of an eye, their hopes extinguished here against Shakhtar. Again, defensively, Aberdeen, my goodness, how things need to turn here, and quickly. Got it wide in the left with Keskinen. Was he fouled? The ref had a look at it, he bounces back up, finds Armstrong, who gives it away, and now they're coming away with it with Ferreira. He's got options to his left, and Aberdeen have to be careful here that the roof doesn't cave in, because those 2 goals going in close proximity was similar at Motherwell, and they've been conceding goals at dreadful times. You think of the ones at Tannadice last Tuesday as well.
Yeah, they don't need they don't need an embarrassment, I would suggest. I think the way things are at this moment in time, that's the last thing they need, the way the results are going. And it's been a pretty decent performance. Okay, 3-1, poor defensively on both. In fact, 3 goals, and the other opportunity to Bondar where he put it by the post, not been organised well enough, which must be disappointing for Jimmy Tillene. But for it to be any worse than 3-1, I think is a major blow. And again, the questions will come rattling through, from the fans, the disgruntled fans, about the situation. And I think the performance at Motherwell was decent, and up to this point, before the 2 goals went in quick succession, it's been decent, no more than that. At the same time, if it gets much worse than this, then you can only imagine the pressure that's going to be heaped on again.
Yeah, an embarrassing result tonight will really pile the pressure on that Dundee game on Sunday, as if there wasn't enough on it already. The Aberdeen fans now wanting their team to press the game out better. They were doing that at times in that first half, and it's won back by Palaversa, who slips it to his left for Dorrington. Still Arda Turan wants more from his players. Loose ball out of defence by Dorrington, picked up by Matt Vienko, who gets it back and rolls it back to Pedro Henrique. Aberdeen led this game. It's the first time they've led a game of football since Capello in the League Cup a month and a half ago, and it didn't last more than the half hour as Shakhtar level before the interval, and since then they've turned it right round, haven't they? 2 goal cushion now. So Aberdeen pick up a throw in deep inside their own half. The fact is, and I mentioned it when the 3rd goal went in there, Willie, Aberdeen simply do not have an answer to the power of Shakhtar Donetsk.
No, they don't. I mean, you can see the gulf in class. Shakhtar zipping the ball about. The possession has been enormous in their favour. Aberdeen really struggling whenever they've had the ball, struggling to create opportunities. But they get that first goal, and it gives them hope. And the hope lasted.
Here's a chance for Shakhtar, looking for a 4th here. So it might be a penalty here as well, though the referee's given the goal kick. It looked like Marlon Gomez might have been fouled there, and he's having a look at the referee. It goes behind for the goal kick. Dorrington's challenge looked a bit dodgy from where we are, Willie.
A little bit, but I think Gomez has thrown himself at it. He's off balance as well. You just have to see if there's not enough connection for Gomez to go down the way he went down. So although Dorrington was exposed, I don't feel it was a penalty.
Triple change for Aberdeen. Armstrong off, Shinnie on. Palaversa is coming off and will be replaced by Nielsen, and Polvara is going to come on as well as he replaces Clarkson. Nielsen being booed by some of the home support when he made his way onto the pitch there. He's had a tough time of it, but that's not something you want to hear. Not just Nielsen, but if you're...
Yeah.
It's just the way things are right now, I suppose, at this club, but one of their own players being booed onto the pitch by the Red Shed.
Yeah, it's not something you would like to hear. A home side and a player, getting booed onto the pitch when the substitute's been made. You just feel that it's frustrating, isn't it? You can feel the frustration in the home fans. Yeah, he's not the pin-up boy by far by some of the home fans, but at the same time, you've got to rally around the team, and you've got to respect the opposition here as well and the quality that they have.
Yeah, I kind of felt that Jimmy Tillin could have almost done without this game, and that sounds quite perverse given qualifying for Europe is one of the major targets at the start of any season, as the long ball for Shakhtar comes right through to Mitov. But you know what I mean, Willie? With the problems that they've got domestically and that massive game against Dundee coming up in a few days.
Absolutely, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, Liam, you've got to be prepared. You're a club that wants to play in Europe. We've had so many excuses in years gone by from clubs where they haven't been able to compete in Europe because of the domestic game.
Shakhtar giving it away. Lazetic moving up towards the edge of the visitors' penalty area, flicks it out wide left for Keskinen, chops in field, he goes for goal. It's well blocked though, and they get the break ball as well there, but one back by Milne, finds Devlin at the edge of the box. Ball in is poor, it's cleared, headed back towards the Shakhtar penalty area. Lazetic trying to get onto it, Matvienko swipes it out from the throw-in over on the far side. It stays Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar 3, almost on 66, and Lazetic has become embroiled with one or two Shakhtar players inside the Ukrainians' penalty area here. Not quite sure what the complaint is.
I don't know, it was Bondar, wasn't it, initially, that he had the nose-to-nose confrontation. There's nothing in it really, so I don't really know why they're getting involved. I think just maybe frustration from Lazetic.
Long throw for Aberdeen, perhaps. Canustar over on the left-hand side. Lazetic was booked for all that. Two Ukrainian defenders were involved with him. Looks as though Matvienko also picked up a yellow card, as is often the case in situations like that. Long throw from Aberdeen's a long way back for them. Canustar in, flicked on by Milne, headed away by Bondar. Carlson trying to get onto it. Shinnie does get onto it, finds Keskinen. Back to Shinnie. Keskinen gets onto it, goes down. The Aberdeen supporters howling for a penalty. The Croatian referee says no, as Milne picks up in the centre circle and rolls it out to Canustar on the left, who slips but manages to feed it to Carlson, who tried some fancy flick back down the line. The ref's going to halt play because they're going to look at that penalty appeal for Aberdeen, who took the lead through a spot kick early in proceedings, and on this occasion it was Topi Keskinen who felt he'd been fouled there. Willie Miller's getting a chance to see a replay.
No, don't think so. I think it's possibly the other way around. They came together, but in seeing the replay, if I could see it again, then I could give you a more definitive opinion. But for me, first look at it, no penalty.
There's a way to say it's been waved away. The ref looked like he was getting the game underway again, but he's, in fact, yes, he has. No penalty. No penalty. There just wasn't enough contact.
In fact, I thought it was maybe Keskinen that initiated the free kick. There's a bit of push there, and then he goes down. Both the players go down, but there wasn't. It was a coming together, and there wasn't nearly enough contact to suggest that it was going to be a penalty. 22
of the 90 minutes left. 3-1 Shakhtar. In comes the throw-in. Oh, it's a brilliant hit by Lazetic, and Devlin on the rebound. Came on again. Devlin's diving header finds the net after Lazetic smashed it off the bar. The goalkeeper got a touch. It came back out to Nicky Devlin, who dived at it and brings Aberdeen right back into this. Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3.
Well, you know something, that's sensational from young Lazetic there. Throw-in, long throw-in. It didn't look as though there was anything on at all. He takes it on the chest, and with the right foot he barrels and strikes it. It's a magnificent save from Resnick as well, onto the crossbar. And there is Nicky Devlin following up, kept his eye on the ball, saw the opportunity, got in front of the defender. But my Lazetic's effort, that is sensational. That is quality. That is the quality that you're looking for. If this young man can repeat that, then he's got something special. And
Aberdeen can still get a decent result out of this. Back to within one. Was Nielsen fouled down on the near side? No, it's gone the other way, and Nielsen's been booked too. It'll be a free kick to Shakhtar. Nielsen making his point to the referee, who's shaking his head at the Norwegian. Wants game on again, will he? You never know. He can get back and pick up a point, having been 2 goals down against Shakhtar Donetsk. That will surely give them plenty to hang on to in the weeks and months to come.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm going to hang on to is that turn from Lazetic and that strike from the youngster. 21, is he still young?
Yeah.
I think he is still young.
Yeah,
21, that's
21,
young, isn't it? I think we can still bracket him as a youngster. And it was magnificent, and the power he managed to get, from a position that you don't think he's going to manage to get a shot at goal. And it's a really good save as well, isn't it? Touched onto the bar. So that, I think, has lifted everybody here. Certainly the second goal's lifted everyone here. And there's still life in the game.
He deserved his goal, didn't he, Lazetic there? Although Devlin not turning his nose up at it first of the season. I'm seeing a replay of it. It's a magnificent save, as good an effort as it was. The Ukraine number 3 pulled off an excellent stop as Aberdeen pick up a throw in deep inside their own half for Devlin to take to Dorrington and back to Milne. Long ball forward up towards the halfway line, and headed away there by Nazarinya. Then drops to Nielsen, clip ball forward. Carlson will chase, half away. Lazetic gets onto it, options to his left. Lazetic rolls it right instead to Carlson. He steps in field, Devlin wants it and gets it. Right hand side of the area, Devlin's cross comes in, the goalkeeper comes in flames at the penalty spot. 19 to play, Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar 3.
Well, the changes seem to have helped, and I think the approach to the game as well, it's been much more offensive, with many more red jerseys getting themselves forward, and the hold that Shakhtar had on it doesn't seem as strong as what it was a little bit earlier. So Jimmy Tillane ringing the changes transforming the shape of this game, really, and Aberdeen getting that second goal, which has given everybody a lift here. I mean, goodness sake, the fans have started to sing as well.
It's been a while since they've had something to sing about, to be fair. Since that Scottish Cup lift at the end of May, it's been pretty tortuous for them. The gleam on the cup has faded as Shakhtar come forward up towards the edge of the penalty area. Slip towards Pedrinho, cut out by Polvara, who manages to get it through to Keskinen. Keskinen looking for the back heel here. He finds Shinnie, who rolls it back in field to Nielsen inside his own half. Nielsen then shifts it to his left for Knustar. Forward for Keskinen, he slips. Still he has it, goes down and wins the free kick. And the ref going over there to prevent it spilling over as Vinicius Tobias left his boot in. And will be a free kick to Aberdeen, which Knustar will take. Still Rangers trailing in Austria. They were 2 goals behind. They got it back to within 1 through Gassama in the second half, but still they are losing 2-1 to Sturm Graz. Here Aberdeen were 2 down to Shakhtar. They're back to within 1 as well at 3-2. 72 and a half on the clock. They have this free kick. Carlson takes it, bends it into the box towards Knustar. It's half away. The clearance eventually made by Marlon Gomez. Milne slides in to try and keep this attack alive. He's done brilliantly. Rolls it back to Polvara. Turns it to Keskinen. Carlson to his left. Keskinen goes for goal. It's straight to the keeper though. Carlson's asking where the pass was, but with the goal waiting to be shot at, you can understand Topi Keskinen having a go there. He shot from a tight angle when he shouldn't have done it for Park at the weekend. He did have Carlson, Willie. It's difficult to resist the shot himself there.
I can't blame him for not taking that on, Liam. Yeah, he did have an option in Carlson, but at the same time it's on to take that strike. He just doesn't get it far enough away from the goalkeeper. It's too close to the keeper. Decent strike, but an easy take eventually from Resnick.
Ball cleanly won there. The Aberdeen supporters wanted a free kick as Shinnie was challenged from the back there. It's now with Devlin with the handball. I think there it's going to be a free kick to Shakhtar on this near side. And Arda Turan's wanting Nicky Devlin booked, and he's got his wish. This was a deliberate yellow card. Not sure we want to see the coaching staff doing that, but there you go.
No, but it can happen. I'm not sure. I didn't see the incident particularly well for them. It looked like Nicky Devlin has thrown his hand out. There's no doubt it's hit his hand. You know, whether it's a deliberate movement towards the ball and deserves a yellow card, I'm not so sure.
Another couple of Brazilians coming on for Shakhtar. Their squad is loaded with them as they bring off Kawao Elias, and on is coming Luka Morelos, who's a couple of goals in his 3 appearances, one of the new boys. Another new boy coming on, Isak, will replace Pedrinho. Isak scored in his last 2 matches as Turan makes the changes as we head towards the final 15 minutes of the 90. Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3. We've got a man down here, it's Matvienko, who's been challenged with Lazetic. You have to be careful, but the Shakhtar bench, almost in unison, were out there claiming that Lazetic has done something here off the ball. I'm not sure. I mean, Willie, were looking at where the ball was. It was nowhere near Matvienko and Lazetic.
No, I didn't see the incident. You know, we might get a replay of it. So far, we haven't had the chance to see it. We are seeing it now.
It's a bit late. He's a bit late.
There's not a great deal in it. You know, he's a wee bit late with the challenge, but it doesn't go in strong.
You've seen fouls given for that, Willie, and you've seen yellow cards given, and Lazetic is already on a booking as well. He'll have to be careful.
He will, he will. And, you know, I think when you're walking that fine line, when you do have the yellow card, then you don't go into challenges like that. You know, but maybe, you know, you can put it down to experience, you know, and try to avoid, you know, any kind of a confrontation, any kind of a contact like that. He doesn't have to do it. You know, he's a striker, by the way, as well. So he doesn't have to go into the centre back. But there wasn't any real force behind it, Liam. You know, it was almost, you know, a very tame attempt at trying to stop the pass forward.
Ball's played back there to the Shakhtar keeper, Riesnik, at the edge of his area. Matvienko's back on. Riesnik's long ball, Milne's beaten in the jump. It comes through to Marlon Gomez. Devlin with the challenge. Comes back to Mitov, who holds on. And Marlon Gomez looking at the referee, wanting a penalty. It would have been a certain red card as well for Devlin had that been given. He's already on a yellow, so even if it was just a yellow, he'd have been off.
Yeah, it looked to me like coming together, to be honest. I don't think, although I thought that Devlin had got himself in the wrong position to defend, you know, the ball played forward, but I didn't feel that there was any real kind of a attempt for the or option for the Shakhtar striker to get to the ball before Devlin, and they just ran into each other basically.
Aberdeen trying to win it back with Carlson on the far side. He goes down, no free kick as it's launched all the way back to Riesnik. Shakhtar keeper fires it to Pedro Henrique on this near side. The man whose goal right now is winning the game for the Ukrainians. Marlon Gomez, the challenge is good from Devlin. Now it's Nielsen, rolls it to his left for Shinnie. Keskinen is to his left, finds the Finn. Shinnie goes in the overlap. Keskinen rolls it into Nielsen, takes a touch inside the box, rolls it Keskinen. Shinnie waiting for the pullback, blocked well, had to be there by Vinicius Tobias. Back with Carlson, bends the ball in. Polvara tries to meet it, it's headed away though. Marlon Gomez completes the clearance, high into the air it goes. Dorrington misjudging the bouncing ball, and it's the substitute there for Shakhtar winning it with Morelos. He goes all the way back to Pedro Henrique, then back to Matvienko. 12 of the 90 left to play. Aberdeen a goal down, facing that enormous match with Dundee here on Sunday.
I think changing the midfield though has really had an impact. You know, the energy, perhaps the experience that's been brought on as well, and Nielsen and Shinnie. You know, and all of a sudden Shakhtar, they don't look that composed side, do they? That they were for most of this game.
And Lazetic couldn't quite squeeze it back out to Keskinen. Long ball comes all the way through to Mitov. Is there a point in this for Aberdeen? Is there to be late drama at Pataudry? Polvara looking for Keskinen. He's not going to be able to keep it in play though. Just drifts away from him and out for a throw in to Shakhtar over on that far side.
been better in the second half, though, is it? Well, maybe not the second half, but the last 10, 15
Since the
minutes.
third goal, the reaction's been good.
It's been good. It's been positive. It's been brave. You know, they've got men forward rather than just accepting that Shakhtar's going to dictate the play, and they've made it difficult for the visitors, which is refreshing. You know, maybe we should have been able to see that, you know, a little bit earlier. But at the same time, you can understand why Jimmy Tillene played the way he did play and trying to manage the game.
It's a mentality thing with Aberdeen just now, though. They only seem to play like that when they're a goal or two down in matches. Here's Carlson wide on the right of the Shakhtar box, sits the defender down, crosses in, it's a good one, it almost reached Lazetic, headed behind by Bondar, though it will not be a corner. The ref spots a foul by the big Serbian striker, and that's going to be a free kick to Shakhtar. I just wonder, does Tillene try and force something out of this game by bringing on some more attacking options? Milanovic and Nisbet, Yengi on the bench. Might be the time for Kusuni Yengi to announce his arrival. In fact, Willie, I've just said that Kevin Nisbet's coming on, but he's more than likely coming on for Lazetic, let's be honest.
Yeah, more than likely, but you never know, and I think Lazetic has done extremely well. Carlson, for me,
Yengi's
as well,
coming on too.
has thrown a number of good crosses into the box, and certainly set pieces as well. No, I think Jimmy Tillene's DNA is to be positive. I think he's set up his team maybe to be too negative, but I can understand why tonight. But he can smell, and I think Aberdeen can smell an opportunity here.
Yeah, and Carlson's found Devlin. He charges into the box. He just runs out of energy as he made his way to the byline. Then he fouls his man. It looked like he was in a great position there. It looked like a tired attempt to get onto it, didn't it?
I think he will be tired, I'll tell you. He's worked extremely hard. He's looking over to the bench and he's got his arms out. I think he's particularly knackered, I would suggest. He goes to ground and you could see that his legs just weren't, his brain was willing his legs forwards, but he couldn't, you know, put his legs together to eventually hit the byline and put a cross in there. But I think Nicky Devlin's been brilliant. Maybe the third goal he should have done better with the experience that he's got, but I think generally throughout this game he's been outstanding.
Ferreira, who got the second, is coming off for Shakhtar and is replaced by Joachim Konoplia as Aberdeen make the changes here. And Don supporters applauding the effort there from Nicky Devlin. It's going to hang fire on the changes by the looks of things at the moment. There's going to be at least one. Nisbet's coming on. Yengi's got his vest back on. I'm not sure if that is a sign that he's not quite ready to come on for the closing 8 minutes of the match. Anyway, it's Shakhtar in possession, and another one for them absolutely would kill it. That's a loose one in midfield. The challenge from Polvara. And Shakhtar pick up on the halfway line, and it's picked up by Konoplia, who's just on the far side. It's back to Bondar, who finds his goalkeeper under pressure from Lazetic, clears with the left foot up towards the halfway line. Marlon Gomez loses out. Dorrington finds Polvara. Polvara coming forward and runs into traffic, and it's cleared by Matt Vienko. Bouncing ball. Dorrington's done well initially. Devlin battling for it now. It's Nielsen who loses out there to Nazarinha. It breaks to Milne in his own half, forward to Nielsen. Now it's Shinnie. If Aberdeen could get a draw out of this, what a boost it would give them. It's with Knuster on the far side. Has to come back the way though. He finds Milne, who then finds Dorrington right hand side, inside his own half, down the line for Jesper Karlsson. Forced back the way to Dorrington and then back to Milne.
Even if they don't, Liam, you know, I think they can take a lot of positives out of this game again, even though it might not be the result that they want. You know, they've still got the opportunity with 10 minutes or so to go. But, you know, I think the tail end of the second half has been very good, and I think generally you can see positive signs.
Shakhtar playing some beautiful football to get up the pitch there. It's cleared by Knuster. It breaks back the edge of the Aberdeen box for the visitors. The Dons double change waiting to come on. And for them to have an impact, they have to be just the one behind, two behind. It's going to be too far back. Bondar out to the far side there for Konoplia. All the way back to his goalkeeper though from inside the Aberdeen half. But Briznik He plays it forward to Nazarinya. As long as Shakhtar have the ball, Aberdeen can't make the changes that could force the issue. Wisnik just rolling it to his right for Valerie Bondar. Chips it long up towards the halfway line. Knuster wins the header. Now it's with Nielsen. Nielsen then stabs it back to Shinnie. Shinnie then forward, looking for Knuster. It's the wrong man in the right place in many ways, but Shakhtar clear out for an Aberdeen throw-in on the far side. Now they can make the changes, so Carlson will come off and will be replaced by Yengi for a difficult start to life at Aberdeen, as most of the new signings have, to be fair. And it will be Nisbet for Devlin, who is dead in his feet. And you would not be surprised to see Alexander Jensen start at right back here on Sunday, will he?
Yeah. I thought Devlin has done really well throughout the game, but yeah, he was. I think he'd ran out of steam, ran out of legs, as we saw in that last attack. So not surprised that he's been invited. He's done a fair amount of work tonight, and he's been an influence, a real influence.
He's got the three strikers on. He's got Nisbet, Lazetic and Yengi on the pitch now. It's Tillene. Shakhtar have a man down. He's off the pitch though, so
yeah,
I don't see why the game has to stop if he's injured. He's off the playing surface.
Yeah, I think the referee's kind of intimating that as well, that the video should go the long way around.
Oh, and he's fine to come back on, of course.
Listen, we've seen it all before, so I think it's down to the referee. He's got to be strong, particularly this time, with just 5, 6, 7 minutes or so to go.
Thrown into the box is poor, and the Ukrainians are able to clear really easily. I mean, that was embarrassing from Vinicius Tobias on the far side. He's smacking the ground as if he's had his leg broken, and then when they realised he's off the pitch, the game's not getting stopped, not able to waste the seconds, he's back on his feet.
It does happen.
Long ball from Mitov sails out for a throw into Shakhtar on the far side. We're on 86.5 minutes. Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar 3 remains the scoreline. Poor ball out there by Mitov. Tillene stares out at the pitch there in the hope that his team can pick up a point tonight. Still a tall order, but can they force one last opportunity?
I think the three strikers, as long as there's a bit of shape to it. I think I've watched Tillene throw on the strikers. I think if you play with two up and Nisbet as a number 10, then that's the way it should be, and it makes sense from a footballing point of view. But if it's just the three of them in a straight line, I don't really seeing that as being too much of a threat from Shakhtar's defensive capabilities.
They've got a ball into the box, comes off Nielsen's head and behind for a Shakhtar corner. So the ball is exactly where Aberdeen do not want it to be right now. The wrong end of the pitch, as they try and force the issue up the other end. Shakhtar have a set play of their own here.
Listen, they've got great experience, Shakhtar, so at this stage they don't have to do anything else. They just have to run down the clock and see time out. I've been surprised that they haven't kept the ball as well as they have done for most of this game in the last 20 minutes or so, and Aberdeen really have kind of knocked them out their shape and their confidence, and made a mark on them.
There's a Shakhtar corner which is headed over the crossbar at the left angle of the 6-yard box. A little opportunity there which hasn't been taken by Marlon Gomez. And there's a goal kick to Aberdeen which Mitov takes quickly to his left for Knuster. Long ball with the left foot, aimed for Kusuni Yengi, goes over his head. It might break to him now on the chest. They're going to drive forward, but he's fouled his man. That will be a free kick to Shakhtar, midway inside their own half. Yengi just didn't ever look as though he was in control of that, and Nazarinya has gone down. He's clutching the small of his back there. Just wouldn't sit for Yengi. He's had a torrid time of it, Willie, since arriving at the club. He was given the number 9 shirt, which I suppose in itself piles the pressure on you.
It does. He hasn't looked like it whenever he's had the opportunity. He looks a bit cumbersome. He doesn't look nimble in his feet at times when he does get the opportunity, and that was an occasion there where it comes to his chest and he struggled to keep possession of it when really he should have. But at the same time, I think he'll be given time to perhaps develop. But so far in his Aberdeen career, it hasn't worked out for him. But listen, maybe a little goal in the dying embers of this game would certainly help, wouldn't it?
Final minute of the 90. Shakhtar change here, and they're taking off Marlon Gomez, and they're going to replace him with the Tunisia international Alagram, who was a substitute in last season's cup final win over Dynamo Kiev, came on in extra time, as that, like the Scottish Cup final, went to penalties, and like Aberdeen, they were picture perfect from the spot, scored all 6 of their spot kicks. It's out for a throw into Shakhtar, level with the Aberdeen 18-yard line. Again, it's at the wrong end of the pitch, and they will take it short through Pedro Enrique. 4 minutes have been added on at the end. We're into the first of them. Polvara trying to win it back. It's for Pedro Enrique. Aberdeen try to get this up the other end if they can. It's with Nisbet. Turns away from his man and sends it long down this right hand side. Lazetic will chase, but Matvienko will get there first. Not a great ball back to his keeper. Takes the touch. He's in trouble. He gets it half away. Finds Pedro Enrique, and it bounces off him and out for an Aberdeen throw-in down by the corner flag. On this near side of the referee spotted an infringement, so Shakhtar will get a free kick instead.
Yeah, disappointing, because it was an opportunity, and Shakhtar taking incredible chances at this stage of the game, I would suggest. I didn't see the infringement myself. I think there was a little foul on the goalkeeper,
Lazetic,
from Lazetic, as we watch the replay there. So yeah, the referee got it right. Inexperience from Lazetic. Why do you foul the goalkeeper? He's under so much pressure, just leave him alone.
And it is the goalkeeper, Liesnik, who takes the free kick with the right foot, sails out for a throw-in to Aberdeen on this near side. Taken by Dorrington and field to Nielsen, swept forward into the midfield. It's Shinnie, who was fouled right in front of the Croatian referee. Despite the protest there of Ocheretko, it is an Aberdeen free kick as the yellow card is once again produced. And the Aberdeen fans not happy with the gamesmanship there. It's Moreles who's getting in the way of the free kick being taken. Been a minute and a half of the 4 that were added on at the end of this Conference League match day 1. Aberdeen trailing Shakhtar 3-2. Dying embers of the game. Mitov with the long ball. Yengi tries to get there, as does Nielsen. Up goes the flag. Offside against Yengi, and that will be a free kick to Shakhtar.
That's so disappointing, not being able to time your run into the box at this stage of the game. It's a decent delivery as well. If you just stay onside, then Shakhtar are struggling to defend that one.
Time running out for Tillene. 2 minutes left of the stoppages. Long ball Shakhtar out for an Aberdeen throw in midway inside their own half, though, over on the left hand side. Bowled forward towards Yengi. Cleared there by Bondar. Bouncing ball, Milne. Oh, it's fresh air from Jack Milne, and Shakhtar win it back over on the far side of Canuster's redeemed his teammate, and now it's with Shinnie, who's tripped. No, told by the ref to get back up, and then down goes Canuster this time. This time Aberdeen do get the free kicks left of the centre circle inside their own half. They've got just over a minute to try and find an equaliser. It's
all very scrappy there, isn't it? Nobody really in control of the ball, and challenges going in. I think there's 2 or 3 free kicks could have been given before the one was eventually given an opportunity for Mitov just to throw it forward.
Long ball, Polvara wins the header, but comes off his head and behind.
I think that's a corner.
Oh, he has given the corner, yeah.
Well, it took a lot of deflection off the defender. Last chance.
Well, this is the chance. Pataudry awaits an Aberdeen corner in the 4th and final minute of stoppage time. They trail Shakhtar Donetsk by 3-2, and Graham Shinnie, the skipper, is over to take it. It's now or never for the Dons if they want to take something from their Conference League opener. The whole group of players at the back post, left hand side of the 6-yard box. Shinnie will take, floats it into the box. Goalkeeper came, didn't really get anything on it. He goes behind for another corner. Shakhtar claiming it's their ball in the face of the referee.
I don't know how the referee manages to see that, because there was so many bodies challenging for that, and Riznik as well comes off his goal line, nowhere near it. Fresh air, he shouldn't be coming out there.
Second chance for Shinnie. Now this is the final opportunity. We've played all 4 minutes. The Aberdeen players could do well with not giving away a foul here. The referee's already lecturing a couple of them. Shinnie's got one last chance to put this into the Shakhtar box. Aberdeen have a man down in the 6-yard area. It's Knooster. Bit of jostling going on. And the ref's coming over to speak to Mats Knooster. He was the one that went down. I'm not sure what the referee's saying to him. They're in conversation, but we're well into a 5th minute. 4 were added. Shinnie's corner comes in. It's headed down by Nielsen. It's well wide. The groans from the home supporters tell you that this game is going to end in defeat for Aberdeen. It's ended in defeat for Rangers in Austria. They have lost 2-1 to Sturm Graz. Aberdeen have lost 3-2 to Shakhtar Donetsk, one of the tournament favourites. Quite an even second half at the end of the day, I would say. Albeit, Aberdeen, who led early through Carlson's penalty and pegged back by Nazariña's equaliser, found themselves 2 behind by the hour mark after Ferreira's header and Enrique's fine finish. Defending for all 3 goals from an Aberdeen point of view was poor. Nicky Devlin gave them hope with a diving header on the rebound from a Lazetic shot that was tipped onto the bar, but it was not to be for Tillene, and the wait for a win goes on. At least there were 2 goals scored tonight, even if one of them was a penalty. They managed to register in that regard, and Dundee on Sunday now roams into view, and what a huge game it's going to be. They weren't expected to take anything from the 5th favourites for the bookmakers to win the Conference League, all told. And they put it up to them at times, but they have been left to curse. More defensive frailty here at Pittodrie, where on match day 1 in the Conference League it finished Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3.
Aberdeen in the UEFA Conference League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.